Hi, everybody. It is Miss Anna. It is so nice to be here with you for another week of our church school lessons. I hope you guys are all doing well as we're a couple weeks into the school year now and into this really different kind of school year that looks really different than most school years. It was so good to see some of you guys last week at our fall kickoff drive-through block party. And even though we had masks on and we couldn't see our whole faces and we couldn't high five or give hugs, it was so good to see you guys still and to speak with you and to say prayers and blessings over you guys at the beginning of the school year. And I look forward to a chance where we'll get to be together again. And so I'm going to get into our Bible lesson today. Our Bible lesson is a special parable. A parable is a special kind of lesson that Jesus would teach. It's a short story that then has a lesson to it. So Jesus does this a lot. He tells a story and there's a special message in it. And, we do that now too. Our books and our movies, they have a story, but they also are usually teaching us something. And that's one of the main ways that Jesus taught his disciples and all the people that would come to listen to him teach. And the story today is about some workers on a farm, or even more specifically on a vineyard. A vineyard's where they grow grapes. So in this story, Jesus tells it like this, that there was a farmer who needed workers for his vineyard where he grew grapes. He went to a place and he asked some workers, "Will you work in my vineyard?" "How much will you pay?" they answered. "1 day's pay," the farmer said. "Okay," said the people, and they went to work. As the day went on, the farmer hired other workers at different times of the day, some at noon, some later in the afternoon. And when they were all done and it came time to pay at the end of the day, the farmer paid them all the same. And when he did that, the first workers were angry. They said, "You paid the last workers the same as us. We worked longer and in the hot, hot sun." And the farmer answered, "I gave you exactly what I promised you. Are you upset because I'm generous to the others?" And Jesus said, that is what God is like. God is like that generous farmer. The last will be first, and the first will be last. A lot of Jesus's lessons are like this, where Jesus kind of looks at our world and says, we're not getting everything right here. We have the things that are important to us and that we think the way things should be are not the way that God says things should be. So when Jesus came to earth, one of the big things Jesus was doing was pointing out to us how we are kind of looking at the world through our own eyes and our own hearts instead of looking at the way God looks at the world. And Jesus asks us to learn and to pay attention to the way God wants things. There is plenty for everybody. God is a generous God and gives us all that we need. But sometimes we're so busy looking at what other people have that we miss what we have. And what Jesus is saying here is that it's important for us to not be focused just on all the stuff that we're getting, because in God's kingdom, things are kind of flipped around. We hear a lot about it's important to have power and be important and how money can get us all the things that we need. And there's always some truth to that. But when all of our time and energy is focused on these things, we forget that what Jesus reminds us is that God says loving God and loving others is the most important thing. And when we do that, everything else we need falls into place. And so when we spend all of our time trying to get the things that we need and forget about what God says is most important, we get a little lost. And so God reminds us that, Jesus reminds us in God's kingdom that things are kind of turned around. That the things that we think are the most important are actually not the most important. But the things that we maybe don't remember all the time, those are what's most important. Loving God and loving others. I hope you guys have a great week. You can check out our Instagram page, and I'll have our arts and craft video on there to get some instructions on how to do our craft for this week. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Bye.